population will evolve to avoid conflict and competition, mate with as many partners as possible, mate early, and not invest highly in any one child. The emphasis, as so many biology textbooks will assert, is to produce quantity over quality when producing offspring in an R-selective environment. Now, suppose we zoom out from a field and zoom into a nearby forest. There, several packs of K-selected wolves exist in harmonious balance with a deer herd. Once these wolves reproduce, there will not be enough food to support the entire population of wolves, so some wolves will die due to starvation. This creates a different selective pressure entirely. Here, to survive, a wolf must aggressively compete with his peers for a share of limited food available. Those who avoid conflict and competition in hopes of stumbling on non-existent food elsewhere will die from starvation. The wolves who survive will be those who go after any food they see, even if they have to try and take it from another wolf by force or violence. Thus, such a K-type psychology will evolve to exhibit a more aggressive, competitive nature, more accepting of violence, as well as inevitable disparities in competitive outcomes between individuals. Of course, a wolf's success, in Darwinian terms, will revolve not just about surviving and mating, but also around producing offspring who survive and reproduce themselves. From a Darwinian perspective, if a parent survives and mates, but all of their offspring die due to competitive failure, the parent might as well not have bothered reproducing at all. As a result, K-selected wolves will evolve a psychology designed to invest heavily in a few highly competitive offspring. This will produce a small number of offspring that are likely to outcompete their peers rather than a larger number of lower quality, competitively incompetent offspring. Those wolves who mate randomly and often with any mate they happen across will see their numerous haphazardly produced offspring killed off by the fitter offspring of those parents who carefully sought the fittest mate possible and then competitively monopolize their mate's genetic fitness through monogamy. As a result, this K trait of careful mate selection and competitive monopolization would emerge spontaneously as Darwin works his magic. Young wolves will evolve to wait before entering the competition for a mate so as to make sure they are as competitive as possible and are not simply killed by their older competition due to their immaturity. Parents will also evolve to discourage such early sexual precociousness in their young, so their young will be maximally mature and maximally attractive to highly fit mates when pursuing their own mate. Likewise, parents will evolve toward high investment two-parent or even pack rearing so as to better protect their offspring until they are ready to compete and to carefully prepare them for the rigorous competition with peers which awaits them. Intense K selection often evolves into groups of individuals competing with other groups, since this is a more effective way to acquire limited resources than working alone. As a result, K-type organisms will tend to evolve into groups of individuals who exhibit pro-social traits, such as loyalty to in-group and disregard for out-group interests. This is why K-selection produces packs of wolves, herds of elephants, pods of dolphins, and prides of lions, all of whom care deeply for each other, while mice, antelope, deer, rabbits, and other R-selected species will not exhibit any sadness should one of their ranks fall prey to a predator. Since rabbits exist at the bottom of the food pyramid in nature and are preyed upon fairly consistently by a wide range of predators from owls to hawks to foxes, rabbits never truly experience the K-selected environment for any extended period. As a result of eons of fairly consistent R-selection pressures, they express a consistently R-type psychology throughout their species. Other species which have existed for long periods under conditions of limited resources will be highly K-selected in their psychology and behavior. Still, other species can exhibit a mix of R and K-type psychologies due to a variety of unique environmental conditions, among them having a history of living in varying environments with periodic resource abundances and resource shortages. These are the two environments that conservatives and liberals are perfectly adapted to function within. Of course, the R-type trait can never truly succeed. Should the R-type individuals ever gain full control over the populace, their mechanisms of control require a constant supply of the fuel of resources produced by the very populace they oppress. In removing the reward for effort and ability, such an R-type government will inevitably diminish its people's productive output and thereby starve itself of the very currency it requires to operate and oppress. At that very moment, proliferative R parasites will be multiplying without bound, attempting to consume ever greater amounts of resources that are no longer being produced. As the power to control recedes, the populace will increasingly abide by its competitive nature. As we have seen, such a mechanism will not tend towards a steady homeostasis where R and K-type natures exist in a perpetually harmonious balance, but rather will careen wildly between periods of oppressed shortages and freedom-fueled abundance. When the highs come, they will be wonderful, but within each will lay the R-selected seed of overtly abundant resources. Just as surely as day follows night, that seed will inexorably grow alongside the R-type subset of a population until stability has given way to governmental collapse and abundance and plenty becomes shortage, inefficiency, and desperation. Personally, it is my opinion that the least immoral path is to honor each man's freedom, limit government intervention, and let each man bear the burden of responsibility for himself and his future.